Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming to Trading Within the Box here on April 13th, 2024, here at 10:40 in the morning. We're going to go over some weeklies, too. We're going to go over the stocks that we've been following. And first of all, this is not a recommendation to buy, hold, sell, or purchase any stocks, equities, futures, forex, or options, or anything in the stock market. This is an educational video only. If you'd like to purchase stocks, please contact a licensed professional or the brokerage house of your choice, and they will help you execute trades there. Okay, so let's go over it on the S&P 500 on the weekly chart here as we're looking at, because we're at the end. This is a Saturday, and we're going over now what is actually happening here on the weekly chart, because we want to see what we're going into. And we're at support right now on a weekly chart. So we're at a major support area for a possible bounce. Okay, now we don't know anything for sure. We're just following money. We're coming down, and we're at support right there. You see it right in that spot. Now let's flip over to the daily chart really quick here. And on the daily chart, we've broken above a little bit here. So are we going to continue a downtrend here right now? Okay, so let's see if we pop back up. Okay, we're at support, so let's see if they're covering. So we have a little bit of exchange of money right here. Okay. Let's see if we pop back up. We got the moving average moving down, okay? So pop back up here, and then let's see if we retest. Now, if we retest and break it, we're going to come down to the next support area, which is right in this spot right here, okay? And let's see where that actually is, and that is at 505.62. Right now, we're at 510.85, so let's not be panic or anything like that. We could get a bounce up to the 514 area, okay? Let's see what happens there. And then we come up with lighter volume and we fail. It's very possible that that's a scenario here. Now, really fast, let's flip over to the 2-hour chart and see what's happening here. Okay, let's look at the volume. So the volume increasing on the selling side right there. You see that, okay? And you'll see where you drop into the next support area. So right now you're close to the next support area, which is right in that spot right there. Let's see if now they're going to bounce this, okay? This pulls up, comes up to this point, boom, we fail, and then we're in a downtrend possibly here, okay? So we're waiting for this discount on this market for a while, okay? And now it's starting to break down, okay? So let's see on the XLF, and remember the XLF, how strong it was. Let's go over to a weekly chart really quick because the end of the week here. And look at this. Now we come back down and we pass and we close right below one of the support levels on the 9-day moving average. But now we close down with increasing volume. So let's see if we're going to hit this area right here. Okay, let's see if we're going to hit this spot right in this, if we're going to come down to 39.17. That remains to be seen. Okay, we're going to just follow every day. Okay, and look at the increasing selling volume. Now the banks led the way up, right? See how the banks led the way up, and look at the increasing volume on the way down right now, okay? Now, I'm not saying this could be a small little correction here that we're going to deal with here, okay? So let's see if we can get down to the 39.43 area. We're going to get bounces as we get into this downward trend here. Okay, let's go over to the SMH with the semiconductors and see how strong they are. And we got the sideways consolidation. And on the weekly chart, look at this, hanging up here with lighter volume, okay? See, the volume's light, and you're hanging up here for something to break, okay? Possibly, okay? So that's something that we're looking at. IWM, we're going to look at the speculators. Speculators sitting at support on a weekly chart, so we could get a little bit of a bounce here on this. Let's see what they do. And you get the little bounce in the downtrend, okay? See the downtrend. As you're looking at the downtrend, look how you came up. You had the lower low, you had a lower high. Now you get a lower low here. You come up, boom, you get the lower high, and we push you down, okay? So let's see how that's what's going on with the speculators. The old world Microsoft, as we call it. Let's go over to that one and look at Microsoft now, sitting on support right now on a daily, okay? Remember the earnings date. April 25th, okay? So just remember that with the earnings, okay? You got April 25th with earnings on Microsoft. Now, you're trading within the box on Microsoft right here. See this? Right there, okay? So you could be in a sideways distribution pattern here, okay? So it's very possible that that's what's going on here. Let's look at the weekly and clean this chart up a little bit, okay? And look at the weekly right now. Now let's look at the weekly on a line chart and look here. We could be getting an M formation or we could be getting a W. Now, if we get a W with this market pulling back, okay, and we get this and a S&P is pulling back, okay, and we get relative strength with Microsoft, okay, then we're off to the races again, okay, and then that'll be one of the most powerful stocks in the market as it's been, okay. Now we're at support here, so it doesn't mean that it can't bounce off this spot, okay. It doesn't mean that it can't bounce. Let's go to the candlesticks. Now over here on the 2-hour chart, we're breaking a little down here, but we're within the box because right now we're at support. We do have more sellers right now than buyers right now here, okay? So let's see if this is going to break down or if it's going to hold. It could hold in the sideways pattern, okay? It's very possible, okay? Because that's what it's doing right now. If you see it right here, look at this. And then you have a little bit of higher lows here, okay? So, but you're in this range, okay? You're in a range. And you could be in a distribution range right now for something later to come for this to start breaking down possibly. Let's see. So it's something that we're going to have to go. Let's look at Apple. And on Apple, what happened? Now, watch the S&P 500. S&P 500 down. What's Apple doing? Relative strength up, right? Okay. So now you hit resistance and they sold into resistance. Okay. So you have a little bit of increasing volume, but remember, you had a long way down here, okay, on Apple. So see how it came down? It came down, and then it broke this area, boom, okay? So we came from all the way up here, from being a power stock to being very weak, okay? So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, and we have 4 peaks. So you usually get a lot of covering on the 4th peak, okay? Go right into resistance, sell right into it, okay? Now, this is a story that the map is telling us, okay? Let's go over to the weekly chart, okay? So now, always remember where your overhead pressure is, okay? You have a lot of overhead pressure at 179.29, okay? So right now you're at 176.55, okay? You have good volume, okay? Remember where your earnings dates are, okay, on Apple. Now look at Apple's on May 2nd on earnings. So always know sometimes they build a little cushion before the earnings. You have a lot of great volume. Let's do a volume analysis now on Apple. Let's go through it. Okay, so on April 11th, you came up with 91 million shares. You came up on April 12th, almost 102 million shares, almost. Now, you're going into the candlestick for March 21st with 106 million shares, okay? So you're still going, that's why they pulled this back a little bit. So now, let's see if we're going to get a trend change here, where we get this type of thing. Let's get the ink out. Where you get this comes up, you got the moving average over here, you come back, we get the W formation, we get an engulfing, and we have to pass the 178.51 area to get to the 185.54 area, okay? Let's see if that's going to happen now. We get some relative strength on Apple, then that very well could happen. Now, where are the candlesticks, the magnets, okay? Always remember where the magnets are because they always go back them. Look how when it came down from support, it went to the magnet candlestick right in this spot right there, okay? You had a magnet right here, so it came up to it right there. See it? Volume stick, I'm sorry. Magnet volume sticks. See them? Came right up into there. Now you have another magnet volume stick right here, right there, okay? And remember where that is. That's in the 181.20 range, okay? So now that candlestick going into 136 million shares, okay? So it could fail, come up, and then fail into that spot. So just always look at that and follow that and remember that. Because what pressure you're going, what overhead pressure you're going into, okay? That's something you always want to know. Let's go to the big dog on the block, NVIDIA. So now NVIDIA, let me show you something about NVIDIA. So this happened on the other day on the 2-hour chart, and we were watching it, okay? Now this could just be covering, okay? Now we were going over NVIDIA, and look how we have the W formation right here, and we hold support with two tweezers right here, okay? So when you get the two tweezers, it's usually a buy, okay, because they're not going to sell it past this point. They get the retest. You had higher volume right here, okay, on the left side of the W, and then you have lighter volume coming into the right side of the W, okay. Pre-market, they buy, we hold over, okay. So now they're covering here, okay. This is a short covering, okay. You come back, and then you get some good follow-through volume. You get the engulfing, which we came back to the moving average, boom, the engulfing was the buy. Okay, only now it failed before the 9:15.29. Okay, and then boom, they took their profits going into the weekend. Okay, so what does that tell you? Okay, are they buying into this weekend? No, they pulled it back. They took their profit over the weekend. Okay, so that's not a good sign for, this could be just a little bit of a snapback. Okay, now we're looking at the line chart on NVIDIA. Okay, now we had a little bit of a sloppy W, and we're up into this area here. Okay, now let's see if this is going to turn. Now, if this turns and we get this type of, we get this, it stops at support here, and we get engulfing, and then we get good increasing volume, then, we're going back to this range, and we're trading within the box again at the 951.29. Okay, so it's very simple as you're following it. Okay, go over the 2-hour chart and look how we pulled to the bottom. Now, this doesn't mean anything. This could stop right at the support level, which is right here, Monday, and then come back up and retest that area right up into that 915 area, okay, 914 area. So if we go to a 15-minute chart and we break it down even more, right now they weren't supporting this on Friday, as you see it below the moving area. They weren't sorry, I'll get out of that for a minute there. They were not supporting this down here. You're below the moving average. So if you're getting back in, you're waiting for a trend change on the smaller time frames, okay? Okay, so that's what's going on with NVIDIA. So just be careful here on NVIDIA, because you got below the gap area, okay, from March 5th to March 6th, and that you got below that spot. They dig deep down and grab more shares, and then boom, and get that little pop. Okay, that could always happen. So you went into the second gap area, and that was from May 1st to May 4th. Okay, so sometimes when they reach down into those gaps, you can pass that one, but boom, the shares are bought right in that spot, and you do get a lot of short covering in that spot too. Let's go over the weekly chart of NVIDIA and look at the spindle. Okay, you have a spindle on the weekly chart holding right at that support level, which is 841. Now, don't be surprised here. Let me just show you something really quick on NVIDIA. Don't be surprised. You see how it hits now? That's a major support line right there, okay? You have a lot of selling, right? But you also had a lot of buying when you were coming up. So the selling is a little diminished from the buying, okay? So let's see if they're going to follow through with this. Now, if it breaks this area right here, okay, you do have support with the 20-day moving average on the weekly chart, and you got a major support level at 745.49. Okay, so it hasn't broke trend on the weekly chart yet. That remains that's weeks and weeks away. But we could get this little sideways thing going on here. Okay, we can get this, we can come back up, we get an M formation, and then come back down. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen there. Okay, let's go over to Goldman Sachs, big dog on the block with the banking industry, and right here, you got increasing volume week by week for the last 2 weeks here but you're still holding trend on the weekly. Okay, so now you're going into a support area on the weekly chart. Okay, institutional money, always remember that what they do, they're buying off these weekly areas, support areas right here. You can almost pick them out. Okay, so it goes through the weekly support area. Let's see if it comes down to this area right here on the 20-day moving average. Let's go over to the daily chart on Goldman, and Goldman breaking down on the daily chart. Okay. Into support, okay? Watch the support area, which is right here, boom. And you're at it right now. And let's see if it comes back up and retests into this spot boom, and then we see it still head down, okay? That's going to be following money, okay? Now, let's go over to GDX. GDX is the gold miners, and look at the exchange of money up at the top. Now, this is the same situation that NVIDIA had, okay? Remember NVIDIA with that big red right there? That big, right there, the big volume stick right there. Okay, now keep that in your mind and let that take a little bit of a snapshot, screenshot in your mind of what that. Now there it is, right? Now we're looking at it here. Go into resistance, and what do we get? Okay, we get right now we're at the top. Okay, we had a nice little run here, and we get an exchange of money here, right in this spot. Okay, we get an exchange of money, so something's going to happen here. Okay. Something's going to happen here. Let's see if this, now, when we go over the 2-hour chart to break this down, look at the volume of the selling volume on GDX going into the weekend, okay, here, okay? Look at that selling. That doesn't mean that we can't just come back and retest it with lighter volume like NVIDIA did, and then boom, okay? Look at that. Take the snapshot right there. Boom. A lot of sellers right now in GDX, okay? Now, there could be a big profit taker right there. Let's go over to weekly. On the weekly chart, we're way far away from the moving average. Moving average is here. We're here. Got to come back home. Okay? So that's going to happen at one point. Okay? Because they always do. They always magnetize back to those moving averages. Okay? So when they correct, they just don't go straight up forever. Okay? Now, HD, Home Depot. Let's go over it. Now, Home Depot, we know we got this nice correction here. So we were up at this 390, whatever this thing was, the high here. It was on the week of March 18th, and we're at 396.87, okay? Now, the last 3 weeks were coming down, okay? We came down with good volume, and we broke trend on the weekly chart here, okay? Go over to the daily chart, and we're at support right now, okay? Let's see how much covering. Now, on the last covering, there was really almost nothing, okay? So that means they're not interested in buying anything back here, okay? They really didn't even cover their shorts barely, okay? They did a little bit on the 2-hour chart, as you saw, but then boom, we gapped right back down. Look at all this selling, okay, right there, selling, okay? Now, we're at support. They could get a bounce here, okay? Let's see. Get one, and then boom, we come down here. Let's see if we hold. If not, boom, we break down here to this level, okay? So on Home Depot, that was so strong. That's why you got to take your profits up there. Look at this run down here on the week of October 30th, okay? Right before October 30th. Boom, look at that run. Incredible bull run. Now breaking down, okay? Breaking down for correction here on Home Depot, okay? Breaking down. Amazon. Let's go over to Amazon. Now, Amazon, you're over the range with the on the weekly chart where the resistance was, okay? Look right here. Boom. We held right in that spot. Then we closed higher right in this spot. We pop our head above. Now, we had a sideways consolidation here first, right? Let's go over to the daily chart. And then we break above, but we get a little bit of selling to come back to the support level. Now, on Amazon, let's watch this for a second here. Amazon, we break up below, but we still had some good sellers on Thursday here. See it? Right there. Okay. We get the profit taking going to the weekend. Okay. So it looks like they're a little scared over the weekend here. Okay. Let's keep taking the profits over the weekend. Okay. On Amazon, let's go to weekly chart. Let's see what happened over the week. And we get the spindle. Okay. So we could pull back to this level here. You know, we could pull back. Okay. Because right now we got this imaginary 9-day moving average moving up, okay? We pull a little back here, then retest this spot, okay? Let's see what happens. Amazon's still very, very strong at this spot. Let's see if it continues, okay? You got to look at the relative strength stocks too. As S&P's pulling back, which ones are strong, right? Let's go to a line chart on right now. Costco, we're on Costco right now, okay? Look at the weekly stochastic heading down, okay? That shows that we were pulling back, right? Let's see if we're going to hold here this way and then try to hit that 745.36 again. But let's go to the candlesticks and see. Right now we have a little bit of a sideways move here because Costco's such a powerhouse. We pulled back a little bit, okay? Now we have a lot of volume. Remember where the volume, now always remember this. This is like almost happens all the time. Look at the volume stick, okay? The exchange of money right in this spot, right here, okay? Look, now what happened? It hit support and where to come back to, right where it sold off again, right? And came back right to where it sold off again here. And then it's like a magnet, and the moving average is like a magnet. Now, let's see if this holds or this is going to break back down again, okay? How we will know is we'll manage it on the smaller, let's get out of that, 2 hour time frame, and let's see as it's holding the line right now, okay? We have a squeeze play here. What do we have going on here? We have the sideways move right here, see it? And we love these because we're either going to squeeze up or we're going to squeeze down. And we usually measure the sideways consolidation, and that's how far you're either going down or you're going up, okay? So not always, but it does work a lot, okay? So you do have a sideways move with distribution right in that spot on Costco. So let's see what they're going to do there, okay? Caterpillar, the power stock of the world, Caterpillar, which is so strong all the time, okay? A lot of people buy this for dividend stocks too on Caterpillar because it's always so strong. That's why Caterpillar, when you get these pullbacks or you get a correction on Caterpillar, they buy the heck out of these. Okay, so look at the last time. Look at that down there. Boom, we pulled back. We got the engulfing. Remember that? And then boom, we were off to the races. Remember that? And boom, again, we were off to the races. This was a bull run on Caterpillar on the weekly chart. Okay. Remember, was following the order flow, and then down here, look how the massive buying was down here. Look when it pulled back and it grabbed all those shares again, and then boom, it took off like a plane, right? Okay. So Caterpillar, let's go over to, you're back at the moving average here, okay? You're back at the moving average, and you're pulling all the way back down, and let's see what's going to happen there, okay? Let's see. On a 2 hour chart, as Richard Dawson used to say, survey says, what? Okay, not supporting right now on the 2 hour chart. So you want to micromanage, you want to know a spot to get back in, let's say, okay? So you have down here, 2, 3, we're down here. You come back up, let's see if it bangs into it like it did here, and it sold off, it did here, it sold off, it did right there, and then right in these spots, okay? See it? Downtrend, right? That's on a 2 hour chart, okay? So that's how you manage it, because over here you're like, where am I getting it? I don't know where to get. I get it over here, I'm going to get killed, okay? So that's how you know when you want to get back into this thing, if it makes M formation here, okay? That's what you want to know. Now, Tesla, let's go over to Tesla because we only have about 5 or 6 minutes left. Tesla had the double bottom. We came back up. Now, we come up, and we have lighter volume. And we're now below, again, the moving average. Let's see if they're going to short this, okay? Right now, you're in this little range here, okay? Right now, it's holding into this range here. Let's see if they're going to drop it or if they're going to take that back up there, okay? As we go along, let's go to weekly chart. And remember this on Tesla, you're still in a downtrend on the weekly chart here, okay? But watch this on Tesla, okay? On a weekly chart, you got 1 peak, you got 2, you got 3. Now you're at 4. So you want to start watching the volume in this area when this starts to pull back up. If it fails, if it starts holding, okay? Let's see. If it breaks down again, then we're super weak again, okay? But on a weekly chart, we're still in a downtrend on Tesla, okay? So we're just reading charts here. We're not predicting anything. We're not gambling or anything like that. Okay, we're just following money, what the big institutional money is doing. Okay, on UUP, you have the W formation. You come back, get the engulfing. You get a sideways, and then you got a pop up to the upside. Now with the S&P going down, UUP has, and the gold going down, UUP has what? Relative strength, right? There's relative strength there. Go to the daily chart right here, and what's going on? You come off support, and now you pop your head, now you're at resistance, okay? Let's see if they're going to hold that. Okay, let's see. TLT, 20-year bond, because we always did a dollar with the bond market, and we got the 20-year treasury bond, and look at the selling, look at the exchange of money in this area right here. So we could get a little bit of a pop, but where are we? Let's go to weekly chart. We're still going down. Look at the selling volume as we're going down into this area here. Coming down on this area right here, okay? Now, let's go over to, I want to go over a few short, long, they call them, inverse on the DOG. This is the short version of the Dow 30 stocks, okay? Look at the volume coming in. Now, we're on a weekly chart, and we slam into resistance right now, okay? So let's look at this spot right here. Look at this volume, okay? This is for the short side of the Dow 30, okay? Look at the volume coming in here as this is going up, as the market is coming down. This is just a mirror image of the market going, as the market Dow is going down, the inverse, you buy the inverse, right? Okay. So now you're going to come up to this 29.93, okay, and let's see if it pulls back from there and then holds. Now you broke out above the last major resistance right there. What do you have going on here? Look at this. You have a head and shoulders breakout right here, okay? So usually what we do is we measure from this point on, which is 29.30 from 28. So at the high, we're at 29.82. So we should go to this range in this area, okay? Let's see how that's going to work out, okay? That's just following what the head and shoulders is showing there, okay? On 2-hour chart, look at, we'll slam right into resistance. So as you're managing this on a day frame to get back in, right here, boom, they're going to pull this back, okay? And then you want to try to get back in this, okay? Let's see if we can get see how we have this little trend up right now. Look at TZA, which is the inverse of the IWM, the 3 times bearish shares of the IWM. And look how there's another one. This is now, see how the market's pulling back? And they're buying, you see? So the IWM is going down. IWM, right, is what? Going down. And the TZA is what? Going up, right? Right here, higher low, holds support, boom, we get the engulfing, boom, we're back up to resistance. We come back down, we hold the support, and we're in the uptrend, okay, as the market pulls back, okay. SDS, let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, the ultra short of the S&P 500, and the same thing, we'll have a few more minutes left here, okay. So same type of thing. As this market, S&P, is pulling back, look at the higher lows you're getting. Okay, you come up to this spot and you wanted to break it, and you did. Now, let's say you come back down, and then you come back and you tag this area. Okay, let's see if this continues to keep pulling back and then holding. This pulled back, it held. You see? Okay, so you have the higher lows in that spot. Now, let's go over to. I was go over to McDonald's because I promised a friend of mine that I would keep watching it for him. And look at McDonald's on a weekly chart here. We have a spindle, and we have a little covering here. Now, let's see what they're going to do, if they're going to pop this a little bit, if they're going to give this a pop. How we'll know is the small time frame. We're still not supporting, institutional money is not supporting McDonald's at this moment. Remember, everything's at this moment in the stock market, okay? Because, this is a trader's market, okay? So now we're building a sideways consolidation, and we're building a base here. We have some accumulation of buyers in here. Over the weekend, not so much. Let's see if we're going to get this, and we're going to get a little bit of a pop, okay? Now, if we get a pop to the downside, this is going to keep running down, okay? Let's see what happens. On weekly chart, on the 15-minute chart, okay, holding the line for now, okay? And then what happened was we had a little covering coming in at the end of the day there on McDonald's. Okay. Now that could be institutional money coming in for a little pop to the 270.75. Right now, 267.39. Coca-Cola. Now Coca-Cola coming down again. Not a surprise. Let's go over to weekly and look at the weekly chart as we're coming down. Okay, we're in the support area right here. Okay, we come to that support level. Now, what happened here? Now, this works on a weekly chart too. Works on every time frame. Look at the spindle. Look at that magnet. What happened? As we came up, eventually it comes back to the magnet. It always does, okay? So always remember that as you're coming up. That took weeks and weeks and weeks, later, a few months or whatever it is. But it did happen, right? And it does pretty much always happen. As you look and you see those massive volume sticks right there, they always magnetize back to it, okay? I want to thank everybody for coming. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Happy trading, and take care of yourself.